Hi. Welcome back to my channel. A little bit about everything. I decided to reattempt to make a macro adjustment laser holder. Okay, and it's sort of like a worm gear and driver gear. Okay. What I wanted to do was I wanted to put an ACME thread on here, but I ended up putting a 1/2 inch 13 thread per inch Unified National Course thread on here. It's a 2A, I believe. Okay, and the reason why I didn't put an ACME thread here, because it's difficult to model the worm gear. Okay, and what I wanted to do on Fusion 360 was actually use the driver screw as actually a cutting tool, so I could cut a thread into here. But what happened was, for some reason, it didn't work. It wouldn't use this as a cutting tool. So what I ended up doing was actually drawing a triangle with this pitch, okay, and using it as a cutting tool, and ran it across the whole of the worm gear. So as you can tell, they're not even helical, they're straight, right? So I don't know how good it's gonna mesh, but that's not how you would do it on a lathe. And these are the supports. The bottom part is the support. This is the support for this, and this, if you look at it from the side, it's going to be used for clamping. So if I drop my laser in here, which is a 1 inch diameter, I made it 1/8 thou larger, and all I do is tighten down that clamp here to hold the laser in here. The piece you see here is a housing. I want a 2-axis macro adjust, right? And I didn't know how to join these two mechanisms together or what, so I decided to make it all in one. I'm hoping that you see how much it takes a lot of time over here while this end is starting to cool down. I hope there's good adhesion between the layers. Okay, this portion is flat on the build plate. This one is not. So this is all just support material until it reaches a certain height. Then it starts building the mechanism. Okay, and basically what you see is two of these. Okay, if I take this out, and I take this center part out, what I'm seeing is two of these, right? The housing that holds everything together. There's one there on the flat side, and the other one over here is going to be standing up like this. So it's quite an elaborate piece. It takes 9 hours to print, and I'm hoping that 8/1000ths of an inch is enough for clearance. I don't want to sand everything down. I've been trying to get my measurements and clearances just right, that I don't have to handle the part more than once, because it already takes 9 hours to print. Why would I spend another hour to make sure they fit, right? What you see on the end is where the drive screw is going to be, or the drive bolt, drive gear. The worm gear goes in that circle, and the driver goes right here, and it's the pitch of the driver that's going to determine how much movement of degree is going to take place for every revolution of that drive screw. And on that end you see the circle laying flat. On this end it's being made on its side. So I hope it doesn't mean a whole lot of problems getting that support material out of there. That part is support. You see the line there between the support, and that is support for the rest of the ring. It's on the last portion of its build. The part, or the macro adjust, this is one of them. This would be where you put, they have lasers that are like in tubes, right? And they're yay long, and it's 1 inch diameter. So I made this so I could pinch here, tighten this up, and I can diminish the diameter, or provide clamping force for whatever's in there. And this, I made it like a worm gear. Okay, if I twist this drive 62 times, the collar will revolve once. Well, the base print is finished, and there's a little bit of bridging that went on, but I think it'll clear up. Like, I don't think it's really on there really good. No, it'll clean up. See, yeah, that's just well, I got some spots in my lens. Now this, I'm hoping this cleans up, because I need this to be clean for it. This was actually a new nozzle. I just changed the nozzle for this print, and it turned out pretty good actually. Like, I don't know if I could get that any better. Like, it is smooth. Like, you might be seeing ridges and stuff, you know, like that. These are the parts that I've printed for this macro adjust laser pointer. It fixes to a table or to a tool or anything that'll fit in that C-clamp. These adjust our 62 turn of the driven of the drive, 62 turns of the drive for 1 turn of the driven. So it's like approximately every turn is 1 degree. That sleeve will fit a 1 inch and clamp down on it. It's slightly larger than 1 inch. I think it's 1 inch and 80 thou, but it'll clamp down probably to a little under 1 inch easily. That is the clamping screw for this clamp. Those are the drivers for that worm gear and drive and that worm gear and drive. This little screw is for that clamp on the holder, and that is the pivot underneath that screw that goes in that clamp to go between whatever you're clamping there and the screw, the clamp screw.